Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gen Z Sports. I'm your host for today, Jeremy Park. Joining me, 2 feet away, is...
This is your co-host today, Ryan Croak. In-person episode for the first time ever. It's finally here. COVID vaccines are officially, fully, whatever you want to call them, in effect. And, we're going to hopefully get a bunch of these out before the end of the summer. And this is our first one. So, in-person episode number 1. Let's hope it's a good one.
You heard the man right. This is our first in-person episode ever. Waited over a year for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's here. It's here. We got a good list of topics for you today.
Yep.
Starting off with more of a negative one, but needs to be talked about. Sha'Carri Richardson, American Olympic sprinter, has been disqualified, I guess, from running in the Olympics after a marijuana drug test turned positive. Ryan, your thoughts?
This is just another example of the world being unable to accept that marijuana is not a horrible substance anymore, as it was previously regarded as. This is just proof that not only is our government's laws around marijuana still outdated, but the International Olympic Committee's policy about it is outdated as well. And, what are you going to do about it? It's Olympic policy. She didn't follow the Olympic policy. Granted, the Olympic policy is stupid, but she didn't follow it. I hope that the committee can take this moment, take this, this test result as a indicator that they need to change their rules and regulations around marijuana. And if they don't do that, it's a shame. If they do, which I expect them to, I think this will be regarded as a more positive moment in Olympic history. But we'll see if they actually live up to what they're supposed to be doing with this.
She broke the rules, but those rules are outdated.
Yeah, they are. But, she broke the rules.
It's not like it's performing enhancing. If anything, it's, like you said, Ryan, it's performance inhibiting.
Yeah, it is.
Come on. And apparently, this was a result of her finding out her mother passed away,
mm-hmm.
which she found out from a stranger during an interview. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah. So, even more reason to hate the media, which, if you've listened to one specific episode, we do not like the media.
Yes, sir.
Do we count as the media?
No, because we're like, we're not like sports media. We just are like a couple guys doing whatever the heck we want, saying what we feel. Yeah. That's not media. We would be media if we're like interviewing people. Yeah. Like if we were like interrogating them in a press conference for no reason.
Well, it'd be cool to get someone on the show.
It would.
But, we're not asking stupid questions.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to get into those. But anyway, she broke the rules. She should have known better, but, one, you have to understand what she was going through.
Yeah.
2, it's marijuana. Come on. Personally, I don't do drugs. Never will. Kind of illegal for me anyway. So.
Jeremy's lying right now.
I am. Never mind. Sorry, Mom.
No, he's not lying. Do not take this out of context. This is not. Jeremy's not lying. Bad joke. All right. Anyways.
Marijuana, a harmless substance.
Yeah.
But whatever. That's how it is. That's how it is for now.
Yeah. I don't know. It's justified on her end. Like she has every right to be taking it because it should be legal. Not on top of that.
It is legal.
On top, it should be allowed by the Olympics. Yeah. On top of that, how are you I can't even imagine finding out that someone close to me, like my mother, passed away from a media interview. Like, can you imagine? That would be horrible. So, grieving with that, and I don't know. I don't think she should have been suspended from the Olympics. I think they should have been more understanding. But I mean, the best we can hope for in this situation is that the rule gets changed. And if that happens, I think we can look at this with a positive light. If that doesn't happen, this is just awful all the way
Not to mention, she's one of the best sprinters in the entire world.
around.
And, we're missing out on that on the biggest stage in
Yeah.
the entire world. So,
And it's a performance-inhibiting drug.
Yeah.
Like she's just a positive for steroids. I don't know. I don't know. I
this
don't
would
know.
be a conversation if it were steroids.
If it was steroids, we'd have a much more different outlook on this. But it's marijuana. It's literally performance inhibiting, not enhancing, not affecting it at all. It's literally performance inhibiting, and she's getting suspended for it. Like I don't get that. That's what's crazy to me.
But yeah, hopefully that rule gets changed. Hopefully it gets overturned before the Olympics. Probably not going to happen. They made their decision, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll see her in 4 years.
Yeah. All right. Next topic on the list. The NCAA finally allowed players to make money off their name and likeness, which includes signing brand deals and all that stuff. But they cannot be paid by a school, like a contract or like a scholarship or whatever. They can't be paid to play there. So what are your thoughts on this, Jeremy?
This is the right decision. One that has been made for long overdue. It's a long overdue decision. Finally, players can have a little more freedom with how they play in college, how they make themselves. I don't know. I don't know how to word this, but this is the right decision.
Yeah.
One thing that has come out of this is that we can get jerseys now. College jerseys. Yep.
Oh.
No more getting fake ones off of Chinese websites. Granted,
That's
those are quality jerseys and they're very cheap, so I might continue doing that. But anyways, now they're official.
Larry Bird, Indiana State jersey.
I think you can get those anyway.
I think you can.
But active players.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I'm actually gonna have to, come March Madness, Jeremy, when I make all my bogus picks,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I buy one player's jersey and call them the greatest player ever lived. And yeah.
Get a Johnny Juzang jersey.
Yes.
If he stays.
I think he said he was.
He's keeping his options open. He's training at the combine and stuff, but he hasn't hired an agent yet.
Okay. I want him to stay. If Johnny Juzang stays, I'm definitely getting a Juzang jersey. Sometime. I mean, this is definitely the right decision. You're 100% right about that. I would have a very big problem with this if the players were allowed to get paid salary-wise.
Yeah.
That would be a whole other issue. But this is definitely the right decision. Long overdue. It's going to be really interesting to see the fallout from this. Like guys like Reggie Bush, people like that in those kind of situations. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see.
He's fine. He has his YouTube.
We'll see the fallout with this. That's going to be the most interesting part about this for me, in my opinion. Seeing if they, which I mean, it's the NCAA. You can't trust them to do anything right.
Yeah.
But hopefully they make the right decisions. Give Reggie Bush his Heisman. Give everyone the credit or whatever. Give everyone who supposedly broke this stupid rule that their accolades that they earned. And and that happens, which I doubt it will because the NCAA. I will be impressed with the NCAA for once in my life.
Me too.
Are you ready to move on?
I'm ready to move on.
All right, Jeremy, here's the big question. So, Ben Simmons has been subject to many people publicly scrutinizing him all over the internet, probably to his face, in public. Wherever he goes, I'm sure this man gets crap for the way he played in the playoffs.
Yep.
And rightfully so. Now, the Sixers are planning on keeping Ben Simmons, reportedly, which we'll talk about in a bit. But should they trade him, who should they go after?
his value's at an all-time low.
Yeah.
So if they were going to trade him, they should have done it earlier, obviously, for James freaking Harden. But, I have this gut feeling that the pressure is insurmountable for him at this point, so he has to get a jump shot.
Yeah.
And now that they say that, he's working on his skills, I have a gut feeling that he'll actually work on it and that we'll see that next season. But it's been 5 years, and they say that every year,
Good
so
one, Jeremy. Good
no.
one. Yeah. No way. The James Harden thing, by the way, like, I even if that deal was to go through, it probably be better in terms of James Harden over Ben Simmons, obviously, but you'd probably have to give up Thibault and Maxey in that deal, which would kill your bench depth, which is something you guys sorely need.
It's James Harden.
It is James Harden, but like you got injured, and well, I don't know. If I'm Daryl Morey, I think I made the right decision in that situation because I really wouldn't do that deal, especially if I'm giving up my 2 young bench players who I'm just going to
giving up all your defense too.
Exactly, like that just kills the team. But whatever. Who should the Sixers target? I'll tell you this. If Damian Lillard becomes available, which I expect him to,
they're not going to get him.
They're not going to get him, but they have to. If the Sixers don't at least try...
They should try.
Yeah. I don't want to know what package... They'd have to give up a hefty package, especially considering the way he played in the playoffs. But depending on what that package is...
Oh, he plays every playoff.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I doubt that Damian Lillard is a reality for this team, though.
He's a bit too loyal to demand a trade.
Yeah, but I think they'll trade him this season. But we'll see. One name that has been talked about a lot is Kemba Walker. No, I don't see this. I really don't. Unless there's serious, not pick compensation. I mean, maybe draft compensation, but that's not really what the Sixers need. They need to win now. So with that in mind, they need to get some good bench depth at the very least, a very hefty package that comes with Kemba Walker for Ben Simmons and maybe a draft pick because we know how much OKC and Sam Presti love draft picks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the most likely outcome this situation or this offseason if I were to predict who would Simmons get traded for. But today news came out that he got a trade. The Pacers offered Brogdon at the first, got declined, and they want a all-star caliber player for him, which, I mean, I probably wouldn't accept Brogdon in the first because you don't need first-round picks, but yikes. All-star caliber player.
For Ben Simmons?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean...
You're going to have to give it Thibault, too, if you want that.
First-round picks are risky, obviously, and it's Malcolm Brogdon. One rookie of the year. But, what else has he really done,
50, 40, 90 club.
Sure.
I mean, he's not bad. He's a great. I don't want to call him great, but he's like a Chris Middleton 3 years ago type player.
Sure. I mean, but it's not even that. It's Malcolm Brogdon. We need a all-star caliber player, like they say.
Yeah. I mean,
make a shot.
Brogdon, Sabonis for Ben Simmons, Thibault, a couple picks maybe. Be interesting package. I think that might work out.
I'd love Sabonis.
Yeah, I think Sabonis and the Twin Towers down low, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I really don't expect the Sixers to get as much as they're asking for Ben Simmons, and honestly,
that's why they're keeping him.
At this point, I don't expect them to trade him at all because apparently they're planning on keeping him, which is ridiculous. Yeah. Embiid has 3-4 years left before he starts getting on that injury train and starts going into, just fading into the background and just before he becomes a what if. There's 3-4 years left on Embiid before he becomes a what if, in my opinion, at least. Maximum. I wouldn't be surprised if it's earlier than that. So, by keeping a player who you know is not going to work on his skills, who you know is not going to develop, it's completely unfair to Embiid, to the rest of the Sixers to the rest of the Sixers players, to the entire city of Philadelphia, to the entire Sixers fan base. This is a complete disgrace. Why are you so intent on keeping Ben Simmons? The process was a failure. Admit it. If it wasn't a failure, you guys would have at least made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and won one by now. If it wasn't a failure. Ben Simmons, Embiid had an MVP year. MVP year. And what did it go to? Another second-round loss. To a team that is much worse than you.
And that won't even be the eventual champions.
The Sixers, this is easily the most disappointing season. They had easily the most disappointing postseason because they have no excuse. They weren't affected by injuries. They just played like garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, Embiid with a meniscus, I mean, sure, you can count that as an injury, but that only lost you really one game against Washington. Even with Embiid basically playing like he's fully healthy, you lost in 7. Why? Because Ben Simmons can't shoot the ball, is afraid to shoot the ball. I really don't know what his deal is at this point. He has no excuse. If Philly wants an all-star caliber player for a player who still cannot shoot 5 years into his NBA career, I don't know what to tell you. And he hasn't progressed in any way. He's become a better defender. That's about it. He's become a better passer, sure. That's about it.
Has he?
I don't know. Ben Simmons is one of the most annoying players to watch. Easily. I think that Game 7 against Atlanta was easily the most frustrated I've ever been watching a single player. Maybe besides Jay Crowder when he was on the Celtics. Because he shot awful. He shot like 8 threes a game, made one of them, but then he'd shoot another 8 more because he made the one. But regardless, Ben Simmons is easily the most frustrating player I've ever had to watch.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to get much for him if they even try to trade him because he's such a hard player to work around. And that's the biggest thing with Ben Simmons. Not that he can't shoot, it's because he's such a hard player to work around. And that's the thing with Giannis. But even though he's been able to adjust and actually develop his game, unlike Ben Simmons. But yeah, I think that's definitely what's holding Ben Simmons back. Not from a player standpoint, not from a technical ability standpoint, obviously, but what's hurting the Sixers the most is Ben Simmons is so hard to work around. And that's going to hurt him in the long run.
I mean, you said it all. I really can't add much to that.
Yeah. I mean, who would you take for Ben Simmons? And don't say basically anybody. Like, who would... If you could have an ideal trade for Ben Simmons that is actually fair, that you think would actually be accepted, what do you think of the top of your head? Like, one player.
Dennis Schroeder.
Dennis Schroeder. You saw he was asking for...
No.
Okay. He was asking for like 100 to 120 million this offseason, which is... Yikes.
I mean, like, D'Lo, maybe?
No.
Serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
What, he's too good?
No.
What?
He hasn't been able to prove himself unless he's in a garbage situation.
Okay.
I don't hate D'Lo. I think he's a good player, but coming
CJ?
CJ, depends on who's in the package.
Sure.
Depends on who you're getting back.
I mean, I'm looking for, like, a point guard, right?
Yeah, obviously. I still think Kemba...
I'll take Michael Carter-Williams back.
I still think Kemba and, like, someone else in the Thunder. I don't know even who else you get. Would be good. Lonzo.
Sure.
Lonzo? Okay. I mean... we'll see. It's becoming ever more likely that Ben Simmons will not be leaving Philadelphia this season, which is becoming ever more likely that the Philadelphia 76ers fans' numbers will sharply decline at the beginning of the offseason, or at the beginning of the season next year.
They're already declining.
I really don't know what else to say about this. I think we said it all. In other NBA news, Jason Kidd has been hired as the new Mavericks head coach. Is this a good hire? Will this get the Mavs over the second round hump they've found themselves in the past 2 years?
You know, this is a guy that played for the organization, won a championship with them, right?
I believe so, 2011.
Yeah. And, it was a guard and understood the game of basketball very well when he played. So I think he can help Luka out. I doubt he's going to do much better than Rick Carlisle. I don't know, but I think this will help a little, but Will it really?
No, it won't, because at the end of the day, Jason Kidd, he's not a bad coach and all. I think he's going to be much better than he was in Milwaukee because he's not going to force Giannis to. Giannis is definitely a harder player to work around than Luka is, and I think that Dallas is going to. He's going to look much better than he did in Milwaukee. That's for sure, because he's going to have a lot easier situation to deal with. But I think that honestly, I think this is compared to Rick Carlisle. I mean, this is probably the best that you could get if you're the Dallas, right? Yeah. But compared to Rick Carlisle, I do not think this is an upgrade in any way, shape, or form.
Is it a downgrade?
Yes.
Okay.
Not a super sizable one. It's like you went out and hired Joe Schmo, who's coached a rec league team and thinks he's the greatest coach of all time now. But I mean, it's not exactly an insane downgrade. It's a good move considering what their options were. Considering Rick Carlisle wasn't coming back, obviously. This is fine. This will get the job done, but I can't say more than that.
All right.
The bigger problem the Mavs have is with Porzingis and what they have to do there.
Yeah.
That should be the number one priority for them.
I mean, I think they have a shot at making the playoffs next year, as long as they get someone better than Porzingis that knows their position. But I mean, a coaching change, I doubt it's going to do much for them.
Mm-hmm. All right, ready to move on?
Yeah. Talk more into the mic.
In other NBA coaching news, Tyronn Lue has been getting called the best coach in the NBA by a lot of people in the media. Is this a valid argument or no?
Well, who are my other options? Nate McMillan, Mike Budenholzer, and Monty Williams?
Sure.
I mean, he's top 4. No, top 3 now.
Meh. I don't know about that.
Top 3 in the playoffs.
Sure. Top 3 in the playoffs.
Not really. I mean, he's up there. Definitely top 10, maybe top 5. And even that might be a stretch. But
Popovich is still coaching for the Spurs,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So that's.
I think he's retiring.
He's going to soon.
Yeah.
If not.
Yeah, there's still Doc Rivers. There's still Greg Popovich. There's still who won Coach of the Year? Oh, right.
They haven't awarded it yet, as far as I know. I think I'm not 100% sure.
Thibodeau got it or something.
Oh yeah, no. Thibodeau got it. He's above.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the coaches that come to mind when I think of better coaches than Tyronn Lue. Tom Thibodeau, obviously. Nate McMillan. Those are the 2 easy ones for me.
Dwayne Casey.
I want to say Eric Spoelstra, but I don't know about this year because this year was kind of rough for Miami. So I'm not going to say Eric Spoelstra. Doc Rivers in the regular season. The playoffs don't even get me started, but regular season Doc Rivers is obviously better. Even though the Clippers did well, Doc Rivers
Sixers did better.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you have to say, really. Mike Malone, I'd put over Ty Lue. Even though Ty Lue made it farther in the playoffs, I'd still put Mike Malone ahead of him. Maybe even Steve Kerr. Maybe not. Maybe yes.
Over Tyronn Lue.
Maybe not. Yeah, but that's easily 5-6 names that I.
He's top 10.
Top 10, yeah, but I think that recency bias is a very, very bad thing.
Yeah.
Quinn Snyder can be put over him. Nick Nurse, questionable.
Sure.
I don't know, but the point is that this is I get it. Ty Lue's team is having success. He got them over the hump, and got them to their first Western Conference Finals. But
without Kawhi.
Without Kawhi, yeah. But,
or was that before?
No, without Kawhi.
Okay.
But I mean, I get it, but it's definitely has raised Ty Lue's stock. But I don't know if that's I don't think that's enough to put him above some of the guys who clearly had better coaching seasons with less to work with too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean playoffs. Ty Lue is definitely in the playoffs. Who's the best coach in the playoffs? who's had the best coaching, or who's done the best coaching job in the playoffs, I'd probably put Nate McMillan or Ty Lue at number 1. But best coach in the league, no.
I can't really speak to how good a coach is, but
Yeah, that's fair. But
Tyronn Lue, best coach, not really.
100%. In another NBA coaching hire, David Fizdale, former laughingstock of the Memphis Grizzlies and New York Knicks, as a head coach there, has been hired as a Lakers assistant coach. Good move or no?
Come on.
I mean,
Dave Fizdale.
given this guy's resume, it's obviously not a good hire. But then again, it's New York and Memphis like 5 years ago.
Sure.
Which, like, yikes. And, like, I've always had a thing for coaching carousels because I think that coaches get way too much of a bad rap. When the team is absolute garbage and when they're literally going out there to lose, when the coach becomes a scapegoat, I think that is that's probably the thing that makes me the most that's one of the things that annoys me the most in sports. Bad reffing is obviously number one. Don't even get me started. Bad reffing, number one. Philadelphia fans, number two. Sports media, number three.
Boston fans, number 4.
Most Boston fans, number 4.
Uh-huh.
And then number 5 is coaching carousel crap. Because when a team has nobody to work with, no players, and you blame the coach for how bad they did, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. And, like, there's so many guys in the NFL, in the NBA, that have been victim to this, where they get hired for a year and a half, maybe. Their team is garbage, and they go out and play like garbage. The coach does all they can, they get fired, and they basically ruin their career because of it. Because they're not going to get hired again because of how they coach that team. But they had nothing to work with. So, I really don't. I'm not going to defend David Fizdale, but clearly, on paper, this should not be a good hire. But we'll see. I mean, Ty Lue.
It's assistant coach.
Ty Lue didn't look like
how
a
much
good.
am I gonna say?
Ty Lue didn't look like a good hire for a head coach for the Clippers, and look where we are now.
Yeah.
So you never know. Back to the actual players in the NBA. Talk about the Bucks for a bit. Giannis goes down with an injury in Game 4, right?
I don't remember.
I think it was Game 4. Trae Young had already been out with a foot bruise, right? Or something like that. Bone bruise on his foot, I think, but I'm not really sure. Giannis is out, Trae Young is out, and do the Bucks are up 3-2. They won last night. Do the Bucks have a chance to win the championship if Giannis cannot play?
No.
Can they win this? Do you think they can win this series?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They did it last night.
As long as the Hawks don't have Trae Young. As long as the Hawks don't have Trae, I think this is
Yeah.
If Trae Young comes back for Game 6, which I expect him to, considering it's an elimination game, and I don't care how healthy or if he's not fully recovered, I think he's coming back. I expect them to win that game, and if Giannis can't come back for Game 7, I think they'll win that one too. But we'll see. Do the Bucks have a chance to win the championship if Giannis cannot play? No.
Thank you.
They don't. Their whole system revolves around Giannis, and even though they won a game without
it's the Hawks without Trae Young.
It's the Hawks without Trae Young.
It's really not an impressive
not the
point.
Suns. And you could argue that Trae Young is more important to the Hawks than Giannis is to the Bucks. Actually, I think it's definitely a debatable topic.
Yeah. Because at least the Bucks have Middleton.
Yeah.
And they have Brook Lopez.
Yeah, you mean Kareem?
33-year-old Brook Lopez just had a better playoff game than Ben Simmons had in his entire playoff career.
Yeah.
Brook Lopez.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a problem.
Yeah. And, Middleton's been balling out recently. I got to apologize to him in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that, I think that if Giannis cannot play the rest of this series, and Trae Young comes back Game 6, at least 80-90% of himself, I think that the Hawks will definitely take Game 6, if not Game 7.
All right. Well, I mean, if they do take Game 6, what about Game 7?
Huh?
If they win Game 6 with Trey, you think they'll win Game 7 with him?
As long as he doesn't do something. As long as he doesn't further his injury, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. And playing without Giannis, I need to apologize to Chris Middleton. I need to apologize to Chris Middleton because I've never been a Chris Middleton guy. I'm still not. I think he looks like Larry the Cucumber. I think he's the most overpaid player in the NBA. And whatever I know I talk about this all the time, but I think that max contracts are way too easy to earn in the NBA.
Yeah.
And who do I use as scapegoat for this? Chris Middleton. Because, my God, this man did not deserve a max contract when he got one a few years back. My new scapegoats for that are now Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, because good God. Yikes. But
no need to remind me.
That's besides the point. Chris Middleton has finally lived up to his max contract, and I'm not going to call him a superstar. He's far from it. He's finally been able to come into his own and show me that he can perform without Giannis piggybacking giving him a piggyback the entire game, without Giannis drawing the defense away from him on the outside, without Giannis basically doing everything he can to give Chris Middleton open, easy shots that he should be able to make 100% of the time. So, Chris Middleton, you've finally proven yourself to me. Congratulations. You should be partying. I don't care if you have a game 6 tomorrow, series clinching, NBA Finals appearance clinching game tomorrow. You better be listening to this right now, and you better be partying because this is big. This is big news. I'm apologizing to Chris Middleton, of all people. But yeah, I'm still not a Chris Middleton guy. I still think that he owes his max contract to Giannis, but what am I going to do?
I mean, max contracts, like you said, are way too easy to get. I think you should at least be the first option on a team to be getting a max contract.
Yep.
And a Hall of Fame soon-to-be player like Steph Curry or LeBron, that is getting
Giannis?
that is getting
Supermax?
Yeah, supermax.
Giannis' contract's nuts.
What is it?
It's like $225 million or something like that over 5 years. It's the biggest contract in NBA history, as far as right now.
Wow.
Insane.
Yeah. Well, he deserves that. He's earned it. He's a 2-time MVP.
And Milwaukee's only shot of the real championship is going to come this year. And it's going to have a heavy asterisk on it. But
well, I mean, do you think it's the same reason like Drew Holiday got like $100 million? Like, because it's a small market team?
No, I don't think the small market thing is even a part of that. I think that it's like small market, yeah. But I think that the reason Drew Holiday gets $100 million is not because Milwaukee's a small market. The reason Drew Holiday gets $100 million is because
they're not going to be able to get anyone else.
Because nobody else wants to play with Giannis.
All right.
I like that. It's the small market, big market thing. It's a problem, but it's not as big of a problem as the NBA money market. Like Drew Holiday should not be getting $100 million. He's a great player, but he should not be getting that much money because the NBA market is just the way it is these days. Is wherever they're going to get the most money, they're going to go. Unless they're going to play their hometown, really. Or they want to play with somebody else.
Yeah.
But wherever they get, most free agents, wherever they get the most money, that's where they're going. Unfortunately, that has caused the max contract rates to go insanely up. And I'm sure that we're going to see guys like Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons and Chris Middleton at some point down the line earning, maybe not those three exactly, but those guys with those types of skill sets earning supermaxes. Eventually, that's what it's going to go to.
No way.
I'm telling you. Eventually,
you have to be a Steph Curry.
It might get to that point.
No, it's not.
The way it's right now.
It's not. No,
I'm not saying like 10 years. I'm saying like 20, 30 years.
Still.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, of course, the NBA's revenue is going to go up from that, obviously, and they're going to have more money to give out contracts of that size.
Inflation, if we want to get into that.
Not really inflation, just the product's going to do more numbers, obviously. So it's going to allow them to get more contracts like that out. But yeah, we'll see. I don't even want to get into that. But yeah, the point is, Chris Middleton, You finally lived up to you somewhat lived up to your pay grade. Finally. About time. And, yeah. I'm sorry for calling you a scrub for many, many years.
Ryan Croak, character breakthrough.
Yes, sir. We had a Tyronn Lue one a couple weeks ago. Complete character turnaround. And now we're having... I'm not going to call this a complete character turnaround because I still hate his guts, but Chris Middleton is a very good NBA player.
There we go.
Now, Jeremy.
This is what I think it is.
Oh my God, Jeremy has texts and tweets. Good God, Jeremy, you've tested my limits this week. We'll talk about both of them in a bit, but good God, Jeremy tweeted out: do people still think Dwyane Wade is better than James Harden? This man tweeted out,
Are you seriously disagreeing with that?
Yes!
How is that wrong?
How are you?
What?
You think James Harden is better than James?
Yes!
You think James Harden is better than Dwyane Wade?
Yes!
No! Not even close!
What are you talking about?
Dwyane Wade has 3 championships. James Harden has 0.
James Harden is an MVP. Dwyane Wade has 0.
What's more important, championships or MVPs?
Valuing a team accomplishment over individual accolades. You know, who's better?
Who is a better player all time? You think James Harden?
Yes.
Dwyane Wade is quite easily better than James Harden.
Quite easily? What are you talking about?
It's quite easily.
How?
It's a very easy.
How? All right, explain.
Dwyane Wade. Now I know that James Harden's a better shooter. Obviously, he's a better scorer than Dwyane Wade.
Better offensive player.
Yeah, sure. Dwyane Wade is just an all-around more talented player than James Harden. He's played much better defense. He's a much better teammate. He doesn't need the ball to succeed. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to do well and to make an impact, despite putting up an insane amount of points. He led the league in what? He beat Kobe out in scoring one year, 2009.
Sure.
I really don't know. He averaged 35 points, something like that, per game in these 2006 finals that they won, or it might have been 2007. I'll look it up right now, but
that is one of the greatest playoff and finals runs of all time.
Exactly, Dwyane Wade.
And James Harden has nowhere near that.
I could never put James Harden over Dwyane Wade until he performs in the playoffs, consistent basis, and the things that he does with this Nets team, sure, it's going to be impressive because it's got KD and Kyrie and Blake Griffin to back him up. Dwyane Wade didn't need those guys to win a championship. He had a Shaq well into his career, way out of his prime, although he was still Shaq. Yeah. And then he had Bosh and LeBron. But whatever. Dwyane Wade, he's a legend. Dwyane Wade's a legend.
So is James Harden.
James Harden, I wouldn't call him a legend just yet. Close to. He's got to win a championship first. He's got to win a championship first.
All right, Allen Iverson isn't a legend.
If he can't win, Allen Iverson's a legend because he led that Sixers team.
Oh, but he didn't win, right? You need to win a championship,
right?
No. Right?
Don't even get me started with that. Allen Iverson single-handedly led that Sixers team to a finals.
What are you talking about? Eric Snow is a great second option.
Single-handedly. James Harden is going to make his first finals appearance with KD and Kyrie. And that's if they're even healthy.
Yeah, sure.
This man had a chance of not making the finals with one of the greatest teams we've ever seen. And that's because of injury, but comparing AI, that's not.
All right. I was just twisting your words there to get you.
Okay, yeah, but still, James Harden, I cannot call him a legend until if he does. If he wins a championship with us, if he doesn't win a championship with his Brooklyn team and people call him a legend, I'm going to lose my mind. That's all I'm going to say, as far as that topic goes. But I really don't see how you think this is a real. This is a
all
good
right,
team.
all right.
I get that you haven't been old enough to see Dwyane Wade play in his heyday. I haven't either. But it's really no coincidence that nobody in their right mind who's seen both of them play has James Harden over Dwyane Wade in their all-time lists. And I think you need to realize that.
Here's my argument.
He said this with Kawhi and Magic the other day, too.
All right, that was a joke, and you know it.
Yeah, true, but Scott, jeez.
Whoever I want on a team, on a roster, starting a team or something, I think I'm taking Dwyane Wade.
Yes.
Better teammate.
Yes.
Better all-around player.
Yes.
However, between who's a better individual player, James Harden, all the way. All right. First off, James Harden, one of the greatest offensive players in the history of basketball.
Okay.
Arguably top 10. I don't know about that yet.
Better individual offensive player, I will accept. Better individual player, debatable, but I'd probably give that to James Harden.
All right.
Better basketball player, Dwyane Wade,
yeah.
far and away, and that's what we're debating here. Not who's a better individual player. Who's a better player?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, fine. But we can both agree on that Dwyane Wade's a better player.
Well, what are...
Better basketball player.
James
is not better than Dwyane Wade.
All right. Here we go.
You are on some stuff. I want what you're on.
Smoking that Sha'Carri Richardson back.
God, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
All right. Dwyane Wade has about 80% of James Harden's offensive talent. And James Harden has about...
Wade better.
What, like 50% of Dwyane Wade's defensive,
abilities.
Yeah.
Maybe like 70%.
Here's the thing. Offense is way more important than defense. Are you kidding me? Who's better? Ben Simmons or Trae Young? Who's better?
There's two sides of the ball. There's two sides of the court. Way more important? Yes! Of course it is. But don't act like... What I think is more impressive, in today's NBA at least, I think that obviously you're going to take a better offensive player than you are going to take a better defensive player because nobody plays defense these days.
Yeah.
But I think what's more impressive these days at least is being a good defender over being a good scorer.
Sure.
Because everyone can score in this league. But yeah, you're right. Offense is of course more important than scoring, more important than defense because that's how everybody ranks their all-time players. But like, if you're a great offensive player, like someone with Dwyane Wade's offensive talent that cannot be overlooked, which I think you're doing right now, James Harden is a much better offensive player than Dwyane Wade.
Sure.
100%. But Dwyane Wade is a much better teammate. He's a much better basketball player. One-on-one, Dwyane Wade or James Harden, I'm going with James Harden. Better, that does the 1v1 don't determine who's a better player.
No. I mean, like I said, if I'm starting a team, if I want to win a championship, I'm taking Dwyane Wade all the way.
Yeah, so what? So how does that make James Harden better? Because he's
just individually, he's just a better basketball player.
So are you saying, all right, so if we're making a top 20 shooting guards of all time, you're putting James Harden over Dwyane Wade?
Yes. Individually.
It's basketball. It's not a top 10 individual player. Basketball is not about individual. It's not about individual success.
No, it's not.
It's a team sport. And
that's not what I'm saying. I keep saying this. If I want to start a team, I'm taking Dwyane Wade.
So
but James Harden is better at basketball.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. He's a better scorer. That's it.
James Harden won an MVP and came like second 4 other times.
Dwyane Wade averaged 35 points in the NBA Finals. James Harden has fumbled the bag in every playoffs appearance he's been in. Enough said.
I haven't even gotten to Mike D'Antoni, his coaching schemes.
He's awful. He's awful. I can't stand Mike D'Antoni. He's awful. He's probably the worst coach I've ever seen in my life, as far as system. Because, good God, the Rockets shot 85 threes a game, made 20 of them, and didn't give a crap. And they still won games somehow.
Got James Harden an MVP.
Yeah. On what? Like 30% shooting?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyone can put up those type of numbers when they're shooting that much, when their usage rate is through the roof.
Sure.
Give Dwyane Wade that shot, that amount of shots. Give Dwyane Wade that usage rate. I think this discussion's not even being had.
Well, then his defense would surely plummet.
Of course he would, but still. I don't know. I can see where you're coming from, but good God, I think that is so disrespectful to D-Wade.
In what way? All right.
What is more impressive, ladies and gentlemen? You ask me. Playing well in the playoffs or getting an MVP? Averaging 35 points in the regular season because your usage rate is 95% or something like that, and getting an MVP for it? Or winning 3 championships, granted 2 of them were with a super team.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't, Ben Simmons gets so much crap for being garbage in the playoffs. He's pretty good in the regular season. Dwyane Wade is... James Harden is not garbage in the playoffs, granted, but he's not himself. He has never been himself.
Well,
in the
since
playoffs.
1, he hasn't had good coaching. 2, injury problems. 2.
He's playing well in the regular season. Why can't you do the same in the playoffs?
Some coaches
That's
just
what I
aren't built for
value
that.
more. You have to be able to turn it up in the playoffs if you want me to even consider you better than Dwyane Wade. And James Harden has yet to do that. Yet to do that. How many years are we into his career? A decade now? More than?
I don't know.
More than a decade. I think he was drafted in 08, 09.
12 seasons.
Yeah, more than a decade. And he still has yet to perform quality consistently equal to his ability that he plays at the regular season that he does in the postseason. He still has yet to show us that he can up his game in the postseason compared to how he plays in the regular season.
All right.
And that alone is enough for me to put Dwyane Wade over him. 35 points in the NBA Finals. NBA Finals. Against a team you were not supposed to beat. And
Who was that?
I'm pretty sure it was the Lakers, but I'll check. I really don't see, how this is even a debate at this point. I really don't see how this is.
The only argument here is that Dwyane Wade has the rings. He has the playoff performances.
They played the Mavericks.
The Mavs.
They won in 6.
The Mavs.
Back then?
Who'd the Mavs have back then?
Dirk, Steve Nash.
All right.
They were a pretty good team.
I'm just saying, I value individual basketball over team accomplishments. Okay? James Harden has an MVP. Came second 4 times. James Harden has 6 All-NBA first-team selections. Dwyane Wade has 2. All-NBA first-team selections. Dwyane Wade has 2 all-time in his career. And James Harden has 6. He's not even done playing yet.
Jeremy, what is holding AI back from being one of the top 5 shooting guards of all time?
I don't know. What is it?
Doesn't have a championship.
Okay.
What's holding Charles Barkley from being arguably the number 2 power forward of all time? He doesn't have a championship. I get what you're saying. Individual accolades are absolutely wonderful. Regular season, sure, go ahead, have all of that. Regular season accolades, they mean jack crap compared to the championships and how you play in the performance. And how you play in the playoffs. If you can't do anything, if you can't turn it up in the playoffs, if you can't play the same way you do in the regular season that you do in the playoffs, if you can play better in the playoffs than you do in the regular season, you have no right to even be considered over Dwyane Wade. I really don't even get how hard it is for me to explain this to you. In the regular season, James Harden is probably better.
Obviously better. Way better.
Probably better. Probably better. Dwyane Wade's a better basketball player. He's an easily better player in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
James Harden has yet to make a what? He hasn't even made an NBA Finals. Hasn't made an NBA Finals. No, he hasn't. With the
2012.
Oh, yeah, with the Thunder, but whatever. Same thing.
He wasn't James Harden.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. The way he's been playing the last 8 years ish since when he was a superstar, 2014 on, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he still has yet to prove that he can keep that level of consistency and that level of play in the playoffs. I think that tells you a lot about who's a better player. Dwyane Wade or James Harden, I think it's no debate.
So should Julian Edelman be a Hall of Famer?
No. Julian Edelman should not be a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
But, I don't know. I mean...
That was a dumb argument.
But, Dwyane Wade... Of course, James Harden is going to look better in the regular season because of accolades and all that stuff. He's got an MVP.
And just watching him play.
Yeah. Dwyane Wade is far and away a better basketball player. And if you had the chance to watch both of these guys play, I think you would definitely agree with me on this and see it for how it is. Because, like we talked about earlier, Ben Simmons gets so much crap now because of how he plays in the playoffs, not because how he plays in the regular season. He was arguably a defensive player. Should have been probably defensive player of the year. Nobody's talking about that anymore. You know why? Because he fumbled. He crapped the bed in the playoffs. James Harden has yet to prove that he can play well in the playoffs. Just like Ben Simmons, just like the Sixers as a team, just like so many other people. And you know what that gets you? You get counted out, and you get completely ignored, and rightfully so. Dwyane Wade is, as of right now, if James Harden can't win a championship, if James Harden can't win a championship if James Harden can't win a championship with Chris Paul and that Rockets team, I get that.
All right, keep in mind who was in the West.
I get they had the. I know. If they can't win that championship with the Thunder against that Heat team, which they probably should have won, to be honest.
What, 2012?
Yeah. They should have won more games than they did.
What was it, like a sweep?
It might have been a sweep. I don't know. I don't remember it. All I know is that James Harden has yet to prove that he can perform in the playoffs.
Keep in mind who he has to play, who he's had to play every year. In the West for the, last 8 years?
He still hasn't performed well. That doesn't take that fact away that he doesn't perform well. Like, I don't know how else to tell you this, but you see what playing bad in the postseason can get you. It can turn people on you like that. The NBA media has always given Ben Simmons crap for having a lack of a jump shot.
Yeah.
But this, like that, he's been called the worst player in the NBA. They're completely overrating, completely disrespecting him for his actual talent that he has. People are calling Malcolm Brogdon a better player than Ben Simmons after this trade.
Well, I mean,
just because of the way he played this playoffs. Yeah. James Harden hasn't played anywhere near the way he has in the regular season, the same way he does in the playoffs. And if he can't win a championship with this Brooklyn Nets team, even if he does, I wouldn't put him over Dwyane Wade. He has to win a championship without this Nets team.
Yeah.
Even if he can't win a championship with the Nets team, to injury, to whatever, I don't care. If this Nets team doesn't win a championship with James Harden on it, this question should never be asked again. If this question is ever asked, I'm serious. I think you're absolutely.
He's already a better individual basketball player, so I don't know why. After winning a championship,
of course, he's going to be a better individual basketball player when his usage rate is much higher. He's shooting much more on a much worse shooting percentage, by the way. That MVP season, I'm pretty sure he shot like 36% from the field. You know how many points this guy gets from free throws? You know how many points this guy gets from free throws?
How many points does he get from free throws?
A crap ton. I get what you're trying to say, but just no. It's completely out of line. I really don't see how you even can consider this a fair argument. The only reason I can even think of to why you're making this take in the first place is because you haven't seen Dwyane Wade play on his high day.
In 2018, that was his MVP season, right?
Yeah.
Shot 44%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
37% from three.
Nice.
Yeah. Very good stats.
Okay.
And 35 points a game? During the regular season, it's 78 games.
Yeah. 2018 is MVP season. Yeah. But, I mean, take into account who else is on that team. Chris Paul. Chris Paul, who wasn't playing like he is now.
No.
Obviously. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I still do not think that you can call James Harden a better player than Dwyane Wade.
Individually? Offense?
Offensively, as an individual offensive player, sure. I'll give you that one. That's about as far as I'll go.
All right. That's pretty much all I need because offense is way more important than
individual offensive talent hasn't gotten anywhere in the NBA. Allen Iverson got the last player to get there simply off their individual ability was Allen Iverson, and he led that team to the NBA Finals, won one game, and proceeded to lose the next four against Kobe Shaq and the Lakers.
Take into account who he was playing and who he had.
James Harden is not Allen Iverson.
No, he's
and
not.
James Harden had much more talent than Allen Iverson did on his team. Yes,
Sure.
it's not even a debate.
Sure. Yeah.
And he got nowhere. Nowhere. I don't care if Golden State's
Yeah, because
in the West.
who
I don't care if Golden
Who do
State.
you have to play?
I don't care
play
if
the
Golden
Spurs.
State's in the West. I don't care.
You have to play the Warriors.
If Chris Paul doesn't get injured that 2016, whatever year it was that Chris Paul got injured in that Game 7, that could have, or Game 6 I think it was, but regardless, as of this moment, you cannot even make this take and sit with yourself. I don't understand how you're doing this right now. 3 championships to 1.
James Harden
led
the Rockets to the 1 seed. Pretty much
Isaiah
single-handedly.
Thomas.
Pretty much single-handedly.
Isaiah Thomas of the Celtics to the 1 seed that 1 year. The Cavs completely bombed, and look what happened to them.
Yeah, because it's LeBron.
Destroyed.
It's LeBron.
I don't care. I think this is absolutely one of the worst takes I've ever seen in my life. That you've made on this podcast. This is a top 10 worst Jeremy Park take on the podcast. For sure. I don't think there's anyone out there who knows anything about. I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening to this right now, the 3 people that are, know that you're full of crap. That if they know what they're talking about, they know you're full of crap.
Offense is more important than defense.
Yeah, no crap. But which more important, being a two-way player, or being able to score 36 points and completely eliminate the rest of your teammates from having a chance to score?
I'm saying he's a better individual player.
Yeah. Does that make him a better basketball player? No.
All right.
Basketball player does not mean you're a better individual player. If we're talking the best individual players in history, MJ's number 1, Kobe's ahead of LeBron in that sense.
What?
Yeah, no.
What?
The top 10 greatest of all time is not individual talent. If you think it's only just individual talent...
Yeah, sure.
And by that, Dwyane Wade is easily over James Harden.
Yeah, I probably agree with you then.
Okay, good.
Like, top 10 skill-wise all time, Kevin Durant's probably in the top 10. But all time, he's not. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying here. James Harden is a better...
Are you saying Dwyane Wade's not top 10 all-time shooting guards?
No, I'm saying if I were ranking my top 10 individual players of all time, I'd put Kevin Durant in there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but all time he's not in there, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying here. All time, legacy, blah, 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 whatever. Dwyane Wade is ahead of James Harden. But individual basketball, James Harden's just better.
Who is a better basketball player?
All right, please explain that further, please.
Keep in mind.
Explain that further.
Basketball is a 5-on-5 sport.
Okay, yeah, Dwyane Wade is a better basketball
player.
Overall team, whatever.
He's a better player than James Harden.
Individually, James Harden's better.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. I'm done with this discussion.
Yeah, I am too.
Absolutely ridiculous. You are.
Yeah, you're ridiculous,
You're full of it. You're full of it. I am so done with you. NBA draft order. Is there anything to say about that or no?
Pistons get the first pick, obviously. Cade to Detroit. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah. Can't wait to see another career get wasted in Detroit.
The Magic get picks number 5 and 8. Cavs get number 2, I think. I have this right here. Pistons number 1, Rockets number 2, sorry.
Yeah.
Cavs number 3, Raptors number 4, Magic 5, Thunder 6, 7 Warriors, 8 Magic, and that's as far as I got with the mock draft list.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I really don't think there's anything there, really. But, alright, let's just move on. A new NBA rule has been instated. Shooters can no longer lean into people for an easy foul call. Thank God! About time.
Yeah.
This rule was made 5 years ago. James Harden doesn't have an MVP. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Anyways, great rule change. I can't ask.
This is a Dwyane Wade rule too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
This is a great rule change. Absolutely love it. About time this got made. Rob Manfred, take a lesson from this. Make an actual decent rule change for once. We'll talk about that later. Good God. Anyways, it's just the beginning of the end of the NBA's quote unquote soft era, where you can't play defense without getting a foul call.
Probably not. I mean, the players are still going to find a way around this to just be soft and get foul calls, even without the shooting. So, whatever.
I want to say that it is the beginning of the end for this godforsaken era, but unfortunately, it's not, because this is. Good God, I hate how easy it is to get a foul call in this league. It's absolutely ridiculous. And unless they let the guys play for once, this isn't like it doesn't start with a rule change. The end of this era doesn't start with a rule change. It starts with the referees letting them play, and that's pretty much as simple as that. We have yet to see how this rule will be put into effect, if it will even make a difference, if referees will even enforce it properly or correctly, but we'll see how it goes. I want to see that if shooters still do this, I want to see them get a foul on themselves. I want to see an offensive foul given. That would be ideal. Yeah. If not, whatever, I'll take it. No foul call, but sure. If they do this, I think that they get a warning, and then if they keep doing it, they get a foul call. I think that's fair.
Or like a tech or something.
Not a tech, but foul. If they do it repeatedly, they get a foul. Okay. Next topic. Chris Paul balled out Game 6 to clinch his first NBA Finals appearance in his 16-year career. Does this make him a top 5 point guard of all time? Is he a top 5 point guard of all time?
It's close, and I'd have to make a list.
I did make a list for this topic, and I can tell you that he's not top 5.
Yeah, I think he's
number 6.
Fringe, yeah.
Number 6.
You know.
Here's the 5 guys I'd put over Chris Paul in this order, from 1 to 5. So starting from 1, ending at 5. Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, Oscar Robertson, John Stockton, and Jerry West. Then Chris Paul.
No Isaiah Thomas?
Isaiah Thomas is 7. I can't put Isaiah Thomas over Chris Paul at this moment, because I didn't really get to see him play. Yeah. But he's a great player. But I think that Chris Paul is a more... I don't want to say, it's debatable. You could put Isaiah Thomas over Chris Paul, and I have no problem with it.
The defense back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah. I mean, we've seen the impact he's had on every team that he's, hopped around to, that carousel.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what's kind of launched this conversation. If he was, still in the Clippers in Lob City, this wouldn't be a conversation. But we've seen the impact he's had. We've seen how he makes these teams better in one season. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely...
If he wins the finals, I think he could be number 5. But
yeah.
Over Stockton.
I'd be willing to say that he's easily a top 5 point guard I've seen play. Because,
yeah.
100%. But, I don't know about all time, though. Because Jerry West is the logo. I don't know if I can put Chris Paul over him.
I think there's a little logo bias there.
Yeah, but, still. Jerry West. Come on.
Sure.
I mean,
all right.
Of course, if you put Chris Paul against Jerry West in a one-on-one, of course Chris Paul's going to win, because Jerry West was playing in the 1950s and 60s and 70s. But, I mean, yeah. Whatever. Ready to move on?
Yep.
I think our last NBA topic, here we go. Our NBA Finals predictions.
Suns in 4, doesn't matter who they're playing.
If Giannis is not healthy and the Bucks win this series, Suns in 5.
Gentlemen sweep, I'll take it.
If Giannis plays, Suns in 6 or 7. If the Hawks beat the Bucks with a healthy Trae Young, Hawks in 5.
Against the Suns?
Yes. Oh, no. Suns in 5, my bad. I thought I said Suns, my bad. Not Hawks in 5. No. Suns in 5. Here's the thing. If the Suns play the Hawks, DeAndre Ayton, I don't care how good Clint Capella is, he's too short for DeAndre.
Or John Collins.
DeAndre Ayton put up 22 boards in one of these games. That's insane. He put up 22 boards and 19 points. That's insane. So, I think he's going to wreak havoc. He's really come into his own. I'm super happy about it because I've always been an Aiden fan, and I'm loving to see how he's playing now.
Arguably, like a top 5 center right now. I'd say.
Definitely can make that argument. But yeah, I mean, I think that the Suns are, as of right now, I think that health has to be taken into account when you talk about the Bucks and the Hawks. But as of right now, the Suns are the clear favorites no matter who they play.
I'm happy to see Chris Paul get a ring. I'm happy to see.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Devin Booker get a ring.
Don't you dare!
Happy to see.
Oh my God!
Mikal Bridges
I'm
get a ring.
changing my pick. Hawks or Bucks in 4 because you said that.
Said what?
So you guarantee they win.
They're winning. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
The Jeremy Jinx thing.
Oh my gosh! No.
You said UCLA. Now, granted, you said UCLA would get you. You said UCLA would get destroyed against Gonzaga, and they took on one of the greatest games I've ever seen in our lives.
Okay.
Anyways, if the Suns lose, it's Jeremy's fault. That's all I'm saying.
I do jinx a lot of things, but this is not
Everything.
one of them. This is not one of these situations.
Yeah, it is.
It is the Suns we're talking about here. Okay. All right. Anyways, I'm happy to see Chris Paul get a ring. I'm happy to see Devin Booker
don't
get a
you
ring.
dare. I'm so mad
I'm happy to
at
see
you right
Mikal Bridges get a ring. I'm happy to see Dario Saric get a ring. Happy to see DeAndre Ayton get a ring.
All right,
Happy to see Campaign
if the
get a
Suns
ring.
lose, I'm playing this. At the
They're
Suns,
not gonna win. They're not gonna lose.
If they lose, I'm not saying they will. I'm saying if. What's confusing about that to you? Every time I say if, you're like, oh,
yeah. Because you always,
They won't do that.
because you just
They
said
won't do
that.
that.
You just said Bucks and Hawks in 4 because I said this.
No, every time I say if, you take it as they will. That's not really the case.
Yeah,
Anyway,
because that's the connotation you're making here.
if the Suns lose, keyword if, IF, means that they might lose, they might not lose. If they lose, and the reality that they lose, if it happens, you know what if means? All right, you're getting it through your head now?
What?
There you go. All right, he's getting it now, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's comprehending it now. If, keyword if, the Suns lose this NBA Finals, I'm going to play that clip over for you over and over and over again. That'll be the new intro to the podcast. It'll be the new intro. I want to give a shout out to Mikal Bridges. I'm happy for Mikal Bridges winning a ring. I'm happy for Chris Paul winning a ring. I'm happy Devin Booker's winning a ring. I'm happy DeAndre Ayton. I swear to God, if you jinx this, I'm going to be so mad.
I'm not going to.
If. Use the word if. All right. So, Jeremy, when somebody says if, it doesn't mean that it will happen. It doesn't mean that it doesn't.
Yeah,
mean
well,
that
that's
it
the
will.
connotation you're making here. You think I'm gonna jinx this, don't you?
I'm thinking that you have I'm thinking that you might. That's what if means.
Do you seriously think that the Bucks or the Hawks are gonna win in 4 games simply
Not
because some
4.
random teenager
Not
said
4. Not 4.
that? No, that's what you said.
It's a joke, okay?
Okay.
You
This
really-
better also be a joke that the Suns are gonna lose.
Oh my God, you're so. I'm picking the Suns to win, but I'm not guaranteeing it. Just because I pick it, look at my March Madness bracket. Do you think because I pick it means it's gonna happen? Clearly not.
Well, you seem to think that
You
I jinxed
picked Gonzaga,
everything.
and they got blown out. You guaranteed they win the tournament, and look what happened to them. They lost by 20 in a chip, and you guaranteed they'd win. You said
This is
nobody.
one thing.
Nobody has a chance.
All right.
Gonzaga's the
This
greatest
is-
team in history.
Baylor is the greatest team in history.
Last time you guaranteed one, look what happened. They
What else did I
lost.
guarantee? What else did I guarantee?
Last time you guaranteed a team would win a basketball championship, they lost by 20 in the championship
All right,
game.
pick a different example. Other than one of the greatest teams of all time in Baylor.
Nothing comes off the top of my head. But you have a history. Don't think I forgot about that guarantee of a Gonzaga win when they lost by 20 in the championship. I don't care if it was against Baylor. You have no excuse.
Okay.
So when I say if they lose, I'm going to torment you. Don't take that as I'm saying that they will lose. Take that as I'm saying that in the reality that they do, which I don't believe they will, you're going to hear about it.
Sure.
Okay?
All right.
Can you accept that?
Sure. I don't care. It'll be funny.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're making progress. Jeremy has learned the word if, the definition of it, And I'll probably forget it in about a week. When I tell him if the Suns lose, I'm going to ban him from the podcast. But whatever. The last NBA question we have on the show today. Is this championship even valid?
No.
Have the injuries are the injuries enough to put a heavy asterisk on these playoffs?
I think there is a list of all these stars that have been injured.
There is. And I guess I'll start off because while you're looking at that. But, unfortunately, yes, there has to be an asterisk. Even though injuries are part of the game, there has to be an asterisk put on this championship because of the amount of players who got injured and the quality of the players who did get injured. LeBron wasn't 100%. AD didn't play half the games. Giannis is missing time right now. Trae Young's missing time right now. And B got hurt. The Net, don't even get me started on the Nets without Kyrie and without James Harden. And it's safe to say that while the injuries this season have allowed for a much more interesting playoff, and for a lot of more quality teams to emerge and come into their own. It's a shame that it had to happen that way for something like this for the NBA playoffs to be this entertaining, but that's just how it happened. And while injuries are a part of the game, yeah, there has to be an asterisk put on this championship, no matter who wins. And while I don't think it should be as heavy in this championship, I don't think this championship doesn't mean anything. Of course, it means something. It's a championship. But at the end of the day, people are going to remember this championship People are going to remember these playoffs not for who won the championship, but for the amount of injuries. And for the Nets not being able to reach their full potential. Which is a shame.
I think even with the Nets fully healthy, I think the Suns would still make a run for it, but I still think the Nets would.
Meh. If the Lakers were healthy, I don't think the Suns would have come out of that series. As good as they have been playing. But, with a not 100% LeBron and AD playing half the time?
Yeah.
They took him to 6. So, I don't know. But that's pretty much all I have to say about that. And, ladies and gentlemen, this is unreal. We're about to get into some baseball topics. When was the last time we talked about baseball? I think the first episode of our podcast that's available on Apple and Spotify and all that is an MLB Division Predictions video. MLB Division Predictions podcast.
We had zero idea what we were talking about.
That was the last time. I think it was literally just me, you, and Uncle Jeff just assuming what teams would do good.
Yeah.
And we had no idea what we were talking about whatsoever. But yeah. We still know nothing about baseball as far as I know. I know nothing about baseball. I don't know about you. But, anyways, some baseball topics for the first time in what feels like forever. Wander Franco made his debut for the Rays, right?
Yep.
He had a 300 homer? 300 homer?
Wander Franco had one of the best offensive debuts in baseball history. Yep. He's 20 years old. Doubled.
Isn't he officially the first player to be born in 2001 to play in the MLB?
I have no idea.
I think I saw that the other day. That's insane. Wow. That's insane.
All right. Doubled. Homered, drove in 3 runs. I think he walked too. Yeah, nice. Walked in his first plate appearance. Hit a 362-foot homer, 2-run homer, and 1-run double.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much unheard of for a baseball debut, especially for someone this young. Yeah. So this dude, he could be the future of the league. And I hope this wasn't just a fluke performance. Yeah,
I am with you. I personally think that this is one of the most special baseball seasons we've had in a while. Even though I haven't paid attention to it whatsoever, I've turned on a couple Angels games here and there to watch Shohei Ohtani go to work. Because this man is incredible. This is probably one of my favorite baseball players I've ever seen play. Just because, when was the last time you saw a pitcher lead the league in hitting? Lead off. Lead the league in home runs. Lead off a lineup. A pitcher is leading off. That's insanity. This is unreal what we're witnessing with Shohei Ohtani here. If he doesn't win MVP, it better be Jacob deGrom.
Well, they're in different leagues.
But still, whatever. But,
And there's 2 MVPs.
Yeah. Still. But, I don't know.
It's going to be deGrom for the NL.
Yeah, it better be.
Shohei for the AL.
If and the fact that they're doing this in the AL when pinch hitters are allowed, that's insane.
Well,
to me.
DHs.
Pinch hitters for pitchers, basically. Yeah, DHs.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is I really can't words can't even begin to describe how impressed I've been with Shohei Ohtani this season, and well, I think that baseball is definitely at one of its all-time worst spots as far as revenue goes and as far as the quality of the game. Ohtani can definitely, Shohei, Wander Franco, a bunch of these guys can definitely breathe some life into that. And if Ohtani continues to play the way he is for multiple years on end, we're gonna witness something special.
He could be the GOAT by the end of his career. He's already the most talented player in baseball history. Who's more talented?
He's the first two-way player. He's the first.
Well, Babe Ruth.
Well, yeah, but still, the first pitcher,
Who's more talented than Shohei Ohtani in the game of baseball?
I don't know. I'm not a baseball fan. This is the wrong guy to be asking this to. I can say confidently that Shohei Ohtani is the most versatile player that I've ever seen. Most versatile. Considering a pitcher is doing this, it's insane. And he's doing 105-mile-an-hour fastballs? That's nuts. I can't call him the most talented player just because he's the first person to ever play pitcher and hitter. There's definitely hitters who are better than him, obviously. Definitely pitchers who are better than him, obviously. I can't call him the most talented baseball player
Yeah,
I've
but
ever seen.
he's one of the best
He's
in the
a
league in both worlds.
He's a groundbreaking player. He's doing this for one season. I can't call him the most talented.
What are you talking about? He won Rookie of the Year 2 years ago.
Whatever.
3 years ago.
He hasn't been leading the league in home runs. Exactly.
Well, yeah, not until this.
I mean, I don't know. I get it. I can't call him the most talented player in baseball. I can call him something I've never seen before. Just because it's unheard of and never been seen before doesn't mean he's automatically the most talented player in baseball. Just because you can play both sides extremely well doesn't mean you're the most not like GOAT caliber, obviously. No. He's not the greatest player, not the greatest hitter ever hit. He's not the greatest pitcher who ever played. He's a great pitcher, he's a great hitter. I don't think it's enough to call you the most talented player in baseball.
I think it is.
Okay. I mean, I'm not a baseball fan, so I really don't know, but whatever. I don't think that's a valid take to make. If he continues throughout his career, maybe. I'll give you that, actually. If he continues this throughout his whole career, yeah.
We've never seen anything like this before. We've never seen talent like this. One of the best pitchers in the league and one of the best hitters.
We've never seen versatility like this. I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm just saying that I can't call him the most talented player in baseball history. In the league, yeah, sure, I'll give you that one. Most talented player in the league, yeah, sure. In baseball history? No. That is ridiculous. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Rob Manfred. Robert. Please resign. I'm begging you at this point. Good God. Rob Manfred cracked down on pitchers this season using substances that allowed them to get them a sticky grip. Yeah, good job. You got rid of the stick. You're doing your best to get rid of the sticky substances problem that's been in the league for decades. Great job. I applaud you for that. Why'd you do it in the middle of the season? Number one. Number two. Why are you suspending pitchers for this when you didn't suspend any players on the Astros who cheated their way to a World Series victory. And you're spending pitchers. I mean, obviously you should be spending pitchers for this, but you're cracking down on this and not that. What? How are you going to suspend pitchers for substance abuse? Not like drugs or anything like that, but you know what I mean. When the team basically cheated the league out of a World Series and they don't get suspended at all. I get that the management installed that equipment, but the players took part of it willingly. I don't get that. Do you? I mean, Rob Manfred, it's Rob Manfred, so what can you do? But the man is completely unqualified for his job. But what are you going to do about it?
He's got his head in the wrong places. I don't know what his affiliation is with the Astros, why he's letting them fly like that. But he's worrying about the wrong things. They won a World Series.
I mean, he's doing his best, but unfortunately his best is just horrible.
Is he even doing his best?
I'd hope so. If this isn't his best, thank God. But if it is,
Well, it's worse, whatever situation, because if he's not trying his best, he should be trying his best.
Yeah, but if this is trying his best, if he's this bad when he's trying his best, and he's an MLB commissioner of the league, jeez, I don't know. All right, last stretch here before we close it out. Vanderbilt versus NC State, College World Series. Semifinal is canceled due to COVID issues from NC State. Mississippi State already won the College World Series. Congrats to them over Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt was able to advance because of NC State having COVID problems in the College World Series semifinals. Now, I get that this is a problem and you need to move on with the World Series and all that stuff. But will it hurt you to just postpone the game until later? It's the College World Series semifinals, and you're basically giving a team a free pass to the World Series, the World Championship. I don't get that. That makes no sense. I get it. You have COVID issues. They need to be taken care of. And if they take too long, people are impatient. They don't want to wait for things. But it's a semifinal. If this is like a round of 64 game, sure.
This is a Final Four game.
Or whatever. Semifinal. The winner of this gets to get us a chance at the championship, and you're canceling it because a team had COVID problems. I get it. COVID's a bad thing, obviously. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying that why couldn't you just wait till this is all till these issues passed? Why couldn't you just postpone the series? I mean, what's stopping you from doing that? I don't know.
I don't know if they have like a schedule that they need to keep rolling.
Just when the NCAA finally made a good decision for once with allowing people to allowing sponsorships and all that.
Yeah.
Just before this, actually, this is just before that decision was made. This happens, and it's classic NCAA fashion, having zero regard for the players that worked to get to where they are, and saying, "Screw you, let's make some money." And it's ridiculous. It really is. It's a shame. It's happened one too many times, and I'm full of it. I'm done with this. I'm absolutely done with this at this point. This is completely disrespectful to the NC State players who worked their butts off to get to where they were, and it got taken away from them from something they can't control.
Maybe they could control it,
But whatever.
I don't know exactly what happened with their COVID issue.
We don't really know all the details, but what are you going to do about it? And the last topic of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Brady said in, I don't know what it was, an interview maybe, I don't know, that his career he's nearing the end of his career. Do you trust this?
I mean, I feel like he's an honest dude. And, he's like 43.
I think for Brady, the end of his career means he's going to play only 10 more years.
Yeah. I think he's got a decade left.
For real though. I think Brady will be gone by 2025. Sure. I think Brady will retire by 2025 at the latest.
At the latest?
Yeah. Probably 2024. If he wins another Super Bowl, I think he's done. If he wins, If he wins another Super Bowl, I think he's retiring on that. He's got to retire on that note. If he doesn't win another Super Bowl, and if he's playing well in 2025, and he's still and they haven't won a Super Bowl since 2021, I think he'll continue playing until he wins one, unless he starts falling off a cliff talent-wise, like Max Carmen said he would 4 years ago, and he's still wrong. But the man is coming off his first year in the NFC and leading a team to a Super Bowl in year one. That's incredible. So this man's clearly got something left in the tank. And it's been a heck of a ride for Tom Brady, to say the least. And greatest NFL quarterback who ever lived, not even a debate. And
NFL player.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say that, 100%. But I think that you could argue, like,
talent-wise,
NFL is really hard to say who's the best player because the positions are so different.
Yeah.
Like, of course you're gonna disrespect somebody. Like, I don't know. I think a safe thing for the NFL is to say who's the best player at each position, because GOAT of all of NFL is very hard to say. Yeah. And unlike the NBA and baseball and all that stuff. But regardless, I hope he goes out on top. I hope he can win one more Super Bowl and end it on that note. Because if he can't, it's going to be kind of a shame. But I think that he's got plenty. I don't think he's going to show any signs of slowing down until at least 3-4 more years.
Yeah, I mean, I used to hate Tom Brady. I cried when he won Super Bowl 49, the interception.
You cried?
I cried.
You cried because Seahawks lost because they blew it? Oh, I cried tears of joy that night. That was awesome. So many
Now,
memories.
looking back, that's just an all-time moment, and I appreciate his
I have a
greatness.
picture of that on my wall in my room.
Great.
It's beautiful. Great. Signed.
By who?
Malcolm Butler.
Oh, wow.
It's the greatest.
It's just
I love the Patriots. You know, let's
Do you
go.
love Cam Newton? Do you love Mac Jones?
Don't
Do you
even
love
know.
N'Keal Harry?
I love Tom Brady. I love the Patriots. Not N'Keal Harry. Not Cam Newton. Not Mac Jones. But I love the Patriots. I love Tom Brady. And the 2010s were a special decade.
Yeah, well, they're over now, so you can stop living in the past.
Yeah, I know they are over. You know what? You know what's funny is that who do you think's going to win another chance? Actually, serious question here. Who do you think? Which franchise do you think is more likely to win a Super Bowl first at this current situation? No, I mean, of course, they're going to change their team over the years, but as of 2021, July 2nd, do you think the Eagles or the Patriots are going to win a Super Bowl next? Which team do you think is going to win another one first?
Patriots. Yeah. Easily the Patriots.
Yeah.
Easily.
I think that's definitely the case. Because they have much more going for them. They have much less work to do. They have work to do, obviously, but they have much less on the table. If Mac Jones can perform, that's a great step. But we'll see. We ready to end on that note?
I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've listened to Gen Z Sports in our first in-person episode. I think we had a good time.
I had a good time. Had our first debate in a while. Argument, sorry. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was fun.
We will see you in, 5 minutes?
Nah, we'll see.
All right, maybe next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week with a sports episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope you all have a great day. Hope you enjoyed it. And I think we'll get a bunch more of these. Hopefully, definitely at least a couple of them out before the end of the summer, which will be fun. And, that's it.
You've been listening to Gen Z Sports.
Oh, we got to have our parting words. Parting words, Jeremy?
Go Chargers.
My parting words are, the Jeremy Jinx is real. Thank you for listening to Gen Z Sports. This has been your co-host, Ryan Croak.
This has been your host, Jeremy Park. We will see you all in the next episode.